If, like me, you have a piano part that you need digitized and you don't want it to sound like a robot, there is a way to play in the automation for the sustain pedal. When I was looking this up on YouTube, there was nobody doing it this way. They were all just clicking. So here's the piano part. I just clicked it in from the written piano score. I need this for school. And all the velocities are the same. I'm going to have to go in and fix that and humanize some things and whatever. But it sounds very robotic like this. So for example, I already did the beginning part, as you can see here. This is the automation track for the sustain pedal. So I already did the beginning of the piece. I've come to a later spot in the piece where you can hear what I mean when I say this needs a sustain pedal to make it sound more natural. Okay. This is a piece called Snowflakes by Craig Castles and Cheryl Huser, and I'm using this for 4th and 5th grade for the Christmas concert. So I need to do like I did at the beginning over here and add sustain pedal so that it will sound like this. Just a side note, I always leave the first measure empty because I often use instruments like Vienna instruments that use key switches for different articulations. So I find that having this space is very useful for that. Doesn't work for sustain though. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. So this is what it sounds like with the sustain pedal added. Okay, so you can see in the automation track that when the automation is pulled all the way up to 127, that's when the sustain pedal is depressed and the notes will sustain there. When it's down at 0, then the pedal is let up and there is no sustain. So if you're not sure where to put those, talk to a piano player. In general, you want to let up right before a new chord and then depress like right after you play the first note of that new chord. So a lot of times that'll end up being on beat 1 of whatever measure you're in, but sometimes there'll be a new chord in the middle of the measure, like happens over here, and you'll want to clean it up or there's going to be too much bleed over. But I'm going to come down here now and record in my automation. So the way to do that is you open up your window, show keyboard. So if I show the keyboard, if I was going to actually play the keyboard like that, I could. But what I want is this guy, the musical typing. And the tab key is the sustain pedal. So I'm going to record this in as though I was playing it, but I'm going to hold down the tab key for my sustain and record it that way as though I was using my foot on the sustain pedal. So I need to record enable this track. I'll start it back a little bit. And now you can see that the automation is in there. So then from here, you can adjust where they landed. If something is bleeding over a little too much, or if you don't want any sustain right there at all, you can take it out. You can just click and drag. So I'm going to go back in here. There's a little bleed over right there, so I'm going to move that over. All right, so you can just go through and do it this way. You don't want to have to click in every time you want the pedal to go down. Hope this helps.